stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets.
Well, all right, Gunny Gunderson, we are back. This is the Thursday thick of it. I am GreenBean. This is the first show back on the GreenBean Jets fan channel because, Gunny, I am officially out of YouTube prison. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing good, brother. They couldn't hold you down. They could not hold you down. It was just a matter of time. We all knew it was going to happen. Welcome back.
Just a matter of time. I like that. We have Jets Chaos in the background. We'll bring him on tonight, too. Finnegan's not here yet, but he's coming. And we're going to talk about a few things tonight. Number one, I think we'll get to some Jets talk, Gunny. That's what I think we're going to do. We might as well do that. Right? Might as well talk some Jets. We'll talk about Zack Wilson. Is he good? Is he bad? We'll talk about our potential against the upcoming Philadelphia Eagles, the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles, Gunny. A little bit freaky. We beat the Broncos, so we'll talk about what we thought in that game. How did our defense do? How did our offense do? We got injuries to discuss. We lost players for the season. So we have a mixed bag to discuss tonight. I will say this. I'm a little resentful because not only does the Thursday thick of it have to compete with Thursday night football, but the Jets released their shit on. All of a sudden, they're doing Thursdays. Why are they doing Thursdays? What are they doing?
They're trying to get
what's going on, Gunny? What do you make of all this?
They're just trying to get our attention, knowing damn well it's going to work because there's no Jets football on tonight. I mean, the Chiefs are about to dominate the Broncos, so we all kind of know how this is going to end. So why not watch a little bit of one Jets drive?
Yeah, they got to do it right alongside the Thursday thick of it. You know, it make it harder and harder for us. But that's okay. We have an awesome bunch of people in the house for Jet Freely welcoming us back over here, Gunny. It's nice to be back over here. Phil Adams is here. The Eagles are coming to town. That's right, Phil. I think we're going to talk about it, but I think we got a shot. We got a puncher's chance here. Cy Thompson jumping back into the Stream Beaners. The Stream Beaners are now live. We're back. And you can use all the fun Stream Beaner emojis. Let me see. Here's one. You got the stream. You got the freeze bean. You got the, you got this. I forgot about these. Look at these, Gunny. You got this. Yeah, screw that guy. Look at all that fun stuff we can have. And again, all of your support is appreciated, guys. I love you guys. Thank you, Cy Thompson, for jumping back into the Stream Beaners. And, it's nice to be back over here. Not that I was upset by being on the Talking Jets network, of course. That's my other channel with the boys. So Ryan and Matt O'Leary. So it's fine. I'm grateful that we had the opportunity to continue over there while YouTube sorted it all out. But, man, it's nice to be back. So, Cy, Phil, Jet Freely's here. Travis is here. What's up, Travis? Good to see you, buddy. Who else is here? They were chatting before. Oh, Harry's in the house. There he is. Hello to you, Harry. Good to see you. Oh, man, look, they were having a full-on conversation before the show. Oh, Kareem Carson. No running the ball. Well, and we can start with that. So, hello, everybody. The Jets leaned on their running game, Gunny. How did you feel about Breece Hall, the offensive line? What did you make of all that? Was it just beating up on a crappy team, or were we looking at more of what we're going to see in the future there with Breece?
I think it was a combination of both, really. I think the Broncos are a bad team. They're historically bad in terms of defense, and right now we're seeing a lot of why Sean Payton is more of an offensive coordinator than a head coach, right? I think our offensive line took this opportunity to gel quite a bit. The boys looked good. They were opening up some gaping holes. They were getting into the second level. All that right there was great practice for going up against a better team, obviously. But what was more fun to watch was seeing the running backs take advantage of it. Even Dalvin Cook looked like, he figured it out a little bit, with the touches that he got as well. I think it was a combination of the two. I think it was a combination of beating up on a team that is not as good as we are, which is what you want to see in the NFL. It shouldn't have been a game whatsoever because the talent levels were so different. And you saw it. which is what we wanted to see. So whenever you get a team like this where you can go ahead and bully a team that you know you should bully, we should feel good about that because it lets us know that at least our team is operating as they should. I do think our defense played down a little bit to the Broncos. I felt like they missed some opportunities. I think I don't know what's going on with those guys in terms of playing to their opponents. You know, 1 week you're intercepting Josh Allen freaking 3 times. You're holding freaking Patrick Mahomes to career lows. And then the next week you're letting Russell Wilson freaking look like he's a dual quarterback in the first half. It's kind of frustrating to not get a beat on where these guys are at mentally and why they keep doing this. But overall, I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed watching those guys run the ball. Breece Hall looked great. Looks like he's gotten comfortable again. That knee looked like it's holding up pretty well. I thought there might be some jitters going back to Denver, where at the scene of the crime where it all went down. But he looked outstanding. And I think that taking him off the pitch count only means good things for us moving forward.
Yeah, you know, I like the idea that our defense played down. I will say this: Russell Wilson is playing better. I mean, you know, last year we were looking at him as maybe he's completely washed, right? He's showing he's still got some juice. You know, he's not he's not the Russell Wilson of the Seahawks, maybe, but he's still got some. You know, he's still a quality quarterback, in my opinion. He would do very well with the team we have right now. We might do better with Russell Wilson, but Zach's playing okay. But you know, it's a funny thing with Zach because we'll talk about it a little bit. But Zach, even when he's playing well, when you take a minute and watch the film, boy oh boy, does Zach
miss opportunities,
dude. So many, and that was the story of all last year. It was like, you know, when we were arguing about LaFleur or not to LaFleur. And then you'd look at the film and you're like, oh my, you know, like, you watch the game and it's like, you know, this guy sucks. You know, he doesn't know how to do this, his game management. But then you watch the film and you can see the whole field and you're like, dude, there are 3 guys wide open. Like he schemes. The guys are running around like, hey, and Zach just can't see him. And even though Zach is definitely better, he's like, there's no doubt he's improved. His footwork's better for the most part. He's not running backwards. So, you know, there's lots and he's getting things done. We're moving the ball. So, you know, you can't take it away, but the same thing is happening. Like, you know, when we got, you know, the first time we got into the red zone, when he bounced it off Garrett Wilson's hands and we ended up kicking a field goal.
Yeah.
Conklin was literally
wide open
in the end zone. Right in front of him. I mean, he was wide open. There wasn't somebody within 3 yards of him either way.
Nope.
And it's just one of
happened
those
again
things.
too with Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard got wide open under Boston coverage. I saw that one. So there, wide open.
Right. There was a few times that we ended up going for field goals that it was 100% Zach. The one with Conklin, he actually pumped. He was going to do it, and he panicked. He like he pumps it and pulls it back, and it's like it's all up here. Like we know Zack Wilson has the skills, right? We know he's got the arm, he's got the leg, he's got the athleticism. There's nothing that he needs other than his confidence, and he freaks out. But so when you look at what Breece Hall was able to do in this game, 170 something yards on the ground, 194 yards total. Offense. I mean, it's like you can't take it away. It's against an NFL team. It's great. And 100%. It's nice to see Breece make it through the Denver thing where, you know, we lost him last year on that field. And it's all great because Breece, he's been breaking big runs against everybody. You know, we were using him 6 plays a game and he breaks a big run. So I think Breece is just Breece. He's going to Breece. But going against the Eagles have, I mean, they're the number 1 run defense in the
rushing
NFL.
defense in the league. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wonder if we're just going to try to, like, there's 2 schools of thought here, Gunny. One is, hey, this is what we do best against what they do best, and we're just going to have to beat them, right? Then the other side is like, why run into the strength of their defense when their passing defense is in the 20s, 25th?
Yep.
20, you know what I mean? So, but we have Zack Wilson. So can Zack because they're going to pressure him. You know, they're going to bring the heat. They're going to be stacking the box. There's going to be a lot of mess in his face. Is Zack Wilson going to be able to do enough to pull them back so the running game can be effective? That's the question. Now, guys, there's a poll question up there for you guys. Will Zack Wilson rise to this occasion, similar to what he did against the Chiefs? You can't take that away from him. He had his best game of his entire career against the Chiefs. Or will he cringe? Will he crumble, and will we see a bewildered Zack Wilson? So let us know with your answer in the poll. But Gunny, what do you think? Can Zack Wilson, if we need Zack Wilson, we need to rely on him. We decide, hey man, we cannot run into this defense. They're going to stuff us every day. Every play. We need you to need you to beat him with your arm. You think he's going to be able to do it, or where do you stand?
What's crazy about it is I think it's what kind of Zack shows up. It's frustrating to have to answer it like that. It's which Zack is going to show up. The Kansas City Chiefs Zack, I think, gives us a chance to win this game. Seeing him sling it all over the place, make some really incredible throws, trusting his arm. They went in full attack mode against Kansas City Chiefs, and we were in the game down to the wire, right? They were supposed to blow us out. Wasn't the case. It was a close game. We're going to need that Zack in order for us to have a chance against the Eagles. I get it. The Eagles don't look as good as they did last year, but at the end of the day, this is a team that wasn't the Super Bowl runner-up, and they're legit. They're well coached. Jalen Hurts is a dog. He knows how to play this game. They've got two elite wide receivers. That offensive line is second to none in the NFL. Like, the defensive line somehow got better from last year with the acquisitions of some draft picks. Right now, the secondary is banged up. I believe Slay is hurt, so I don't think he's gonna be playing. He didn't practice again today, so that could be a benefit as well. Zack's gonna need to throw the ball. I don't want us to go ahead and test our best versus their best, because we just lost ABT. So I'm not sure how really our best in terms of offensive line is going to be against that defensive line. And if the defensive line can create penetration, I love me some Breece Hall, but there's not much he can do, right? He can make one guy miss, two guys miss, but if they're all getting back, there could be an issue. I do believe that Becton is a little banged up. We saw him limping off, from the last game. We're going to have to throw the ball. And I think we're going to go ahead and have to get the ball into the hands of Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, freaking Conklin. I don't care who it is. Throw the ball. Get the ball in their hands. If you're going to use Breece, put him out there in the slot. You know what I'm saying? Put him out there out wide. But I think he's going to have to throw the ball for us to win this game. I don't think running the ball is going to work. I don't think running the ball is going to be effective. I'm actually benching Breece Hall this week in fantasy football because of that fact. We need Zack Wilson to come out like he came out against freaking the Chiefs. That's how I think we have a chance. Right. If we don't do that, I just don't see this being a game that we come out with a W.
Yeah, it's a scary one. Now, the good news is Zack just had his first 2 consecutive 70% completion percentage games. So even though he missed plenty of opportunities, by Zack Wilson's standards, there's an uptick, right? I mean, we cannot deny it. It's real. He is looking better. So if we can build on that, maybe we have a shot. The Swingmaker checking in from Hawaii. Welcome, Swingmaker. It's good to have you here from so far away. I love that. I want to get to Harry's super chat. Harry dropped in and send some love. He says, here's what I hope is many more Thursday Thick of It super chats or supper chats. I like how you put that, Harry. I like a good supper chat. Nom, 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 nom. That's good for me. Jeremy, I know, likes supper chats as well, Harry. So it's going to be fun. Now, Harry, speaking of supper chats, is going to be with us November 6th against the Chargers. We're going and we're having our Talking Jets meetup for Monday Night Football, November 6th, MetLife Stadium. And we are hanging out with Tailgate Joe, one of the more famous tailgates in the country. He's been recognized nationally. Emerald Lagasse had him on his show when he did the whole tailgate thing around the country. Tailgate Joe was on there as well. So we're going to be doing that. There's a handful of tickets left in single digits. If you want to go with us, I'll tell you what's going to happen, Gunny. If we beat the Eagles, those tickets are going to fly. They're going to be gone. If we don't, then we'll have to see. You know what I mean? People are like, I don't know. But if we beat the Eagles and go into the bye at 3-3 after what this season has handed us so far, I think the excitement's going to be high. I think Jets fans are going to be ready to go. When we head into the bye on a poor Zack Wilson performance, 2 weeks with that taste in our mouth is going to suck. I hate going into the bye on a bad note, man.
On an L. Yeah, same here. It's rough.
And it's one thing if
it-
we lose and it's like a good game or
a good
okay, that's a
game.
different
Yeah. We can hold
know.
on to some positives, but if it's like a bad game and we lose, it's going to be a very, very tough 2 weeks.
Yeah. Sneakers to boot saying Hackett's got to stay away from the interior runs. I could not agree more. Now, Jalen Carter didn't practice today. I think you mentioned that. Darius Slay also didn't practice today. So who knows what that means? We do get DJ Reed back, it looks like. He's practicing. So that's a positive for us. We missed him last week. Although Breece Hall played pretty well overall. Ended up having that big scoop score at the end to seal the deal. That was I'm glad it was Breece Hall. He deserves a little bit of something, some excitement. So Jets fans could cheer his name because a lot of Jets fans aren't in love with Breece Hall, but I think he's quality. I hope they keep him around. But anyway, he played well, but I don't think anybody can argue. He's not DJ Reed. So we want DJ Reed back, and that'll be good. Now, as far as our defense versus their offense, Gunny, like you said, Jalen Hurts is clearly a dog. AJ Brown is a stud. Devontae Smith is another one. Swift, so they're loaded, and they're going to be bringing it. Do you and look, the truth is that Eagles fans, they're going to be there because it's only 2 hours down the road.
Oh yeah,
and this, they're going to be coming in force, so it's going to be a mixed bag. Lots of Eagles fans. We don't want to get their side of the crowd going. What do you think? Are we going to be able to hang with them? Is our defense going to shut them down in the second half? What do you see happening against their offense?
Yeah, in all actuality, I feel pretty good about the matchup, especially if we get DJ Reed back. I think that we've seen this team match up well against Josh Allen with freaking Stephon Diggs and the other guy. I'm having a brain fart again. It's been one of those days. But they've got two good wide receivers as well. And we saw what happened in week 1. I believe Travis Kelce is probably the best receiver right now in the league, right? In terms of creating separation, scoring touchdowns, sure his hands. Get it, he's a tight end, but the dude doesn't drop balls, right? They played really well against him. I like how our defense matches up well and taking away their passing game. My biggest concern really is on the legs of Jalen Hurts. Like, I feel like Jalen Hurts is a much more dangerous weapon in terms of his ability to run. We saw that we've struggled against running quarterbacks. And I know last week after Russell Wilson diced us up in the first half, they made some adjustments in the second half and kind of kept them in pocket. But Russell Wilson is not on the caliber of a runner of a Jalen Hurts. And I think that whoever we put on spying him, honestly, I think it has to be Quincy. I think Quincy has the combination of speed and athleticism to go ahead and be that kind of a spy for him. I'm worried. I'm worried about making sure we maintain him. So I think Quincy has to be the dude they leave on Jalen Hurts as a spy. And we get to see the matchup of Sauce versus freaking Sauce and Reed against their wide receivers. I think that AJ Brown and freaking Devontae, if we can go ahead and keep those guys in check with our guys, it's a game. I think our defense can make it a game. Now, Dallas Goedert is another person you got to go ahead and kind of worry about, right? The running game is, of course, we've got some running backs who can catch the ball. There's still concern there, but in all actuality, I think what it boils down to is maintaining Jalen Hurts, making him play from the pocket. Don't let him run on us, because I think if that starts happening, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, I agree. I'll tell you what, one of the most exciting moments of last week's game for me and Jeremy, we both started screaming. It's a somewhat of a benign play, but coming into I think it was their first series in the second half. Russell Wilson was eating us up on the ground. And then all of a sudden in the second half, we get pressure. We flush him out of the pocket and he runs up the middle. And who's waiting there? Tony Adams was just standing right there.
Yep.
And he couldn't get the first. Me and Jeremy lost our marbles. We started yelling, "Oh my God, a spy!" Yeah, it was because it's so clearly what we needed to do. It's like the guy's just, he's eating us up for 10, 12, 15 at a clip. You got to stop it. So it was so exciting to see them respond. In so many times, so many games, so many years in the past, we saw the Jets they never make an adjustment. They never fix what's clearly broken. in the game. At this team, while the slow starts are aggravating, this first quarter, we kind of like mail it in or something for the first quarter. You can't deny that their second half adjustments are legit, man. I mean, they come out
100%.
and look in this last game. I mean, it was complete domination in the second half. We come out, we shut them down. Then we get the Breece Hall touchdown. Then we shut them down again. Then Zach drives down for a field goal. It was like this whole thing. It was like, holy shit, this is a whole different game. I mean, the truth is that the Broncos only had one drive in the second half. I mean, if we were able to convert those field goals into touchdowns, we're talking about a blowout. Like if half of those were touchdowns, them scoring a touchdown later in the game isn't even a concern. It's like, and that's the whole thing with, the Zack Wilson offense. For whatever reason, he just struggles, and he always has, to get us in the end zone. Like, yeah, so what? We're moving the ball, which is a positive. We're getting first downs. So it gives the defense that ability to rest and all, and that's all positive. But we need to punch it in, especially when there are open guys running around the end zone. We got to be, and there's a pocket. So everything's there. Everything's present. The only thing we're missing is his ability to punch it in. So I really hope that he's able to do that this week, because we're not going to be able to hang. Now, this comment from Ryan Rivera, there's hope. Sam Howell and the Commies scored 31 on this team. And let's not forget the Pats were able to take them out, to the rope as well. So, dude, look, I'm not to take anything away from them, but the truth is the Eagles haven't really beaten anybody of consequence yet. What is it? The Commanders, the Patriots, the Cardinals. Who else did they play? They didn't play Dallas yet. They didn't play.
No, they haven't played Dallas yet.
So, I mean, again, not taking it away from them, because they're definitely a good team, but it's, I don't know, man. Maybe it's somewhat of a little bit overblown how good they are. Maybe we can compete with them. We're kind of battle hardened. We've a lot of heartbreak and, obstacles for us, not least of which is losing Aaron Rodgers in the first game. I mean, look at what we're overcoming, so, what Edward Ziff is talking, Pat's played the Birds tough. We must seal the deal. I mean, do you think that has anything to do with it? You think maybe there's somewhat of an illusion right now, Gunny?
I don't know, man. Like I really, I know they don't look like the team we saw from last year. I've watched the games and I don't see the scary, unstoppable team we saw running through the freaking NFC last year. But these guys are still Super Bowl like contenders, right? They were the runner-ups of the Super Bowl. I do believe they have the best offensive line of football. I don't think it's close. But when you look at it that way, yeah, it boils down to they've beaten the Commanders, they've beaten a Vikings team that's freaking looking like trash right now. They beat the Patriots, they beat the Buccaneers, and the Rams, right? Like, but have they really beaten a team that's, like you said, right, of substance? I don't, you don't see that. It's just not here. So can they be beat? Yes, they can be beat. I don't want to sleep on these guys, though, because I would hate to be the team that decide that they're going to go ahead and come out to, like, decide, we're going to go ahead and show them that we're still the same guys from last year. Man, I don't know, man. I don't want to get caught up in that trap of like, you know what? Now that you said it that way, we can destroy these guys. They've been playing scrubs. Because I'm looking at it and I want to say it. I'm like, they've only beaten some scrubs right now. But if we have Aaron Rodgers, right, playing right now, I'm like, oh yeah, this is dub. This is a win, right? We're not even really having a discussion. It's again, you don't know what Zack Wilson you're gonna get, right? That's what sucks about this. It's the never, like, we're going into every Sunday now thinking, all right, if he can just play like he did against Kansas City, or if he can just be, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where we're at. We don't know what to expect, and that sucks. And I don't think running the ball is going to be able to go ahead and sneak us a win this week. It's just not. We're going to need Zack Wilson to start throwing it. And that whole factor of, like, is it going to be Zack Wilson from the Chiefs or Zack Wilson from the Patriots? Who are we going to see show up this weekend? It's so frustrating to be in this mindset week in and week out. But no, you're right, though. There is a chance. They haven't really beaten anybody of substance, and even those games have gone to the wire. So that there's definitely a chance we go ahead and pull this one out.
Yeah. I think so. Right. It's not like we want to overlook them. I mean, they're clear, dude, they're stacked. So you know, it's not like that. But the can we beat them is they're not this juggernaut that can't be beat. That's the whole thing, I
Exactly.
think.
Exactly.
Alan Doge checking in. Thank you, Alan, for the super chat. He says these two teams are built the same way with a similar mentality. Jets are one of only a few teams that can come out then that can out physical the Eagles, and they aren't ready for it. Welcome back home, GreenBean and Gunny. JETS. Well, thank you, Alan. It's nice to be home.
Appreciate you, Alan.
But yeah, that's a great way to put it. I mean, we are built the same
Yeah.
way as the Eagles. You know, Joe Douglas, as we know, comes from the Eagles. That was his where we got him from, where we plucked Joe Douglas from. He was on the Eagles staff. So it's like the Ravens and the Eagles, and the Ravens are built that way too. You know, depth on the defensive line. Big uglies in the trenches, pressure. You know, good. Line play, linebackers. That's where it all is, and out physicaling the other team. And I think that the Jets are a physical team. I mean, let's not to be homers, but we have a nice, strong, stout bunch of fellas up front. And we can be a physical team. We can play with anyone on that level. I think it's the finesse, the speed where I sometimes have question marks. But yeah, what do you think about that? You think like our offensive line can handle the defensive line and vice versa?
I think their defensive line is going to give our offensive line hell. I think that's going to happen. I think our defensive line, I think the rotation of fresh legs attacking their offensive line is going to be to our benefit. But now it makes sense though. Like these teams are built very similarly, right? They're built with like in the trenches, like you said, and people will come for Joe Douglas all day, but the man has put resources into building the trenches. In case people didn't know, offensive linemen are actually across the league right now have played relatively mid to bad, right? Like the Eagles apparently are the exception, but he's put effort into trying to build this offensive line. They are built very similarly, man. But the difference maker again falls back to Jalen Hurts is a much better quarterback than Zack Wilson, right?
Oh, yeah.
Devontae Smith is a much better wide receiver than whoever you want to call our wide receiver to. In this case, Alan Lazard. I don't think it's even close. And I'm not. I like Dallas got the. I love the mentality, Alan. I do, but the more I watch, so I didn't put a video out the last couple of weeks. In terms of my predictions, because I didn't do it the week before because I didn't want to be negative, and we won, right? And then last week we actually we didn't win. The week before against the Chiefs, I didn't want to put it out there. We made it a game. So last week I was like, I'm not going to put it out there again. We won. So now I'm like, I don't want to do a prediction video because I feel like that's my role. I got to go ahead and just not talk about the game. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the game, but not give any scores or anything like that. So I don't want to do it again. But if I had to do a prediction video, and I've watched the both teams in terms of talent, I've watched the All-22, and I look at an Eagles team that I think has more talent than we do on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, I feel like we do have them beat. But on the offensive side of the ball, man, like and again, that offensive line is what I look at. And I'm like, God dang, man, these boys are good. Jalen Hurts just looks comfortable in the pocket regularly. They move the pocket whenever they're running the ball. Like that offensive line is just it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's a beautiful thing to watch. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we want to be physical like them. I think we can be. I just don't know on the vice versa aspect if our offensive line can keep up with their defensive line. And that's where, again, I get a little bit jittery.
Yeah, and those are great points. I mean, it's, we're going to have to play our best football. There's no doubt about it. But I think going into the bye, I think we can get it. Salah's got his work cut out for him, but it's like, guys, this is our last game for 2 weeks. Let's, and how we're going to spend the next 2 weeks is contingent upon how well, if we go out there and we're stiff, if we're slow and kind of groggy, then it's going to be the worst 2 weeks in the world. If you go out there and you show up, win or lose, if you play a good game, it changes everything going into the bye. I'll tell you what, in the Chiefs Denver game, Denver just held the Chiefs to a field goal. which is
saw that.
interesting. But did you see the lateral for the first down? Did you see the Chiefs pulled off the lateral?
He threw it, then Kelsey threw it back to, I don't know who that guy was for the first down.
Yeah, Gray.
Kelsey could have got the first down himself if he wanted to, but okay, I guess.
So hey, they're pulling out the stops over there. So the other two teams that the Eagles beat, thanks guys in the chat, well, it was the Vikings and the Bucks. So teams that are real. Well, so they played the Rams. Who'd they play? The Rams, the Commanders, not the Cardinals. So the Rams, the Commanders,
Patriots, Commanders,
Vikings, Bucks. That's who it is.
Yep.
So all teams that are kind of struggling, having a hard time. So again, you don't want to. It's like they play who's on the schedule, right? But they weren't exactly blowing teams out either. Those teams were able to take them to the wire. The Commanders almost beat them. The Patriots almost beat them. So, it's just one of those things where maybe, just maybe, if we pay attention, now we can come out there and punch them in the mouth because we are a physical team and we do have talent and we were built to compete for a championship. Maybe we can use all of that to surprise them a little bit and be like, holy shit, man, these aren't the same old Jets, so to speak. Sneakers to Boots checking in. What's up, buddy? He says Zack Wilson decided to open the book for open book test. Yeah. 70% completion back to back. His eyes are still blind to half the field. Sign Tannehill if he collapses. Well, and that's a good question. So there's a lot of talk right now about, if Zack Wilson struggles in this game, like if he can't stack another positive game, even though, again, when, from the casual fan is looking at it going, Zach's playing much better. And he is. But boy, oh boy, was he missing a lot of stuff in that game. And I mean a lot, almost every play, even the completions, there was a better option a lot of the time. So he's dumping it off to Breece and he's getting 8 yards or he's running and he's getting 9 yards. And you think, okay, this is great. And it is. It's positive. Look at this. Wow. Okay. You don't want to go down. All right. Denver's bringing it to the Chiefs. So anyway, like with Zack Wilson, with playing a team like the Eagles, we really could stand to witness another kind of Zack Wilson collapse. Now, I hope it doesn't happen. I'd love him to stack another 70% and compete in this game. Don't get me wrong. But if he does collapse, there's a lot of talk about Kirk Cousins. There's talk about maybe Ryan Tannehill. Where do you stand on that, Gunny? If Zach struggles, are you going and calling the Vikings and seeing what it's going to take to get him in here before the bye, or maybe even Tannehill? Where do you stand on those?
I understand the enthusiasm of Jets fans wanting to go ahead and bring somebody in. But you're not going to get Tannehill just to sign him. You'd have to trade for him. He's currently a Tennessee Titan. You're not going to just get, Kirk Cousins because they're going to release him all of a sudden. You're going to have to trade for him. I don't think in terms of where the mindset is for this regime going into next season with a healthy Aaron Rodgers, that makes a lot of sense. There's still components that we need these draft picks for to go ahead and offset some of our weaknesses. The offensive line, I think, is going to need a couple of high draft picks put into it. We might need another wide receiver, right? Like there are things that we need to get done for when Aaron Rodgers comes back to actually make us more competitive, because we're seeing some of the holes right now on our team. I get it, man. It will be exciting, but unfortunately, this isn't Madden. I think Trevor Siemian is the guy. I think if Zack Wilson starts to struggle and he doesn't figure it out, you know what? Sit down, Trevor, you're up. And Trevor Siemian will play average football and try to go ahead and keep us competitive. I don't think they're going to make any big moves to bring in Tannehill. I don't think they're going to make any big moves to bring in Kirk Cousins. The money situation right now, the cap situation right now is concerning. You got to worry about that as well because you need some stuff available, again, for next season. I think in the back of the organization's mind, they kind of know it's a long shot for us to make the playoffs this season. With the loss of Aaron Rodgers. But just for the record, that would be for any team if they lose their starting quarterback. It's not just the Jets thing. I just don't see how we bring in a Kirk Cousins, take on that cap and give up an asset for him, or bring on a declining Tannehill, give up an asset, you know what I'm saying, take up the rest of his contract. It makes no sense. I understand we're thinking short term because we want to see a quality product now as a fan base. I get that, but I don't believe anybody in that front office feels the same way. And I also believe that they all know they're not getting fired this year because they didn't have Aaron Rodgers out there playing football. I think they know they're secure in next year having a job. So yeah, no, I don't see any quarterback coming to save us right now, guys. It's Zack Wilson or Trevor Siemian. That's what I think is going to be.
That's our lot. That's what we got.
That's our lot.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, like it or not. I mean, that's the thing too. It's like, look, I love the idea, right? Like theoretically, conceptually, Zack Wilson shits the bed, and the Jets find a way to bring in Kirk Cousins before the bye. He gets 2 weeks to kind of adjust, and we're starting him against the Giants. It's a kind of a softer team in some respects, right? They're struggling. So we get the opportunity for him to kind of slow roll it. It's great. It's a great idea. But we already don't have a second next year. Like, so what are we giving up for him? You know, you're going to be competing with at least a couple teams that want a quarterback. So what are we going to do? I mean, what are the Vikings going to give him up for? You know, realistically, I don't know. What do you think? It's going to be a 5th round pick or something? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many resources I want to give away, especially when you're talking about Aaron Rodgers coming back. Now, there's also talk of Aaron Rodgers coming back this year. There's an article I have pulled up where there's an NFL analyst expects Aaron Rodgers back by week 13. Now, is that real? I don't know. Is it a good idea to trot him back out the second he's kind of okay? I don't know, man. Is it too risky if we re-injure him? Then he's gone until the middle of next year. I don't know what to think about all this stuff. Obviously, we'll leave it to the doctors and all that shit. But I don't know, man. It's a little bit crazy to me. Is it realistic to think that the Jets are going to go out there and get Kirk Cousins or Ryan Tannehill? I don't know, man. I wouldn't hold my breath is my point. I think Gunny, like it or not, I think Gunny has a point. We were watching Zack Wilson struggle. The Jets went out and got Trevor Siemian. They've been kind of, you know, teaching him, training him, whatever, getting him up to speed for the last couple weeks. That's our guy. That's the number 2 quarterback. You know what I mean? And if Zack sucks, he'll go to number 2. Trevor Siemian will come in, play, you know, middling football at best, and we'll see if that's enough to get us into the playoffs. But I find it hard to believe that the Jets are going to give away any real resources. Now, if the Vikings say, all right, hey, we'll do a 5th and a swap for a 6th for a 7th or something like that. All right. Okay. Maybe we can do that. But, you know, I just don't see it. I really don't. I'd love the idea, but I don't see it. Let me see. I'm curious what Jeremy thinks of it. Jeremy, you want to come on real quick? Yeah. All right. Let's see what Jets Chaos thinks of this one, because he's got a lot of weird shit to say. So let's see what Jeremy says. Let's bring him on here. Jeremy, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, you mellow?
What's up, brother?
Mellow. I'm chill.
Everybody's mellow tonight. It's like a mellow night. It feels mellow. Doesn't it feel mellow in here, Jeremy?
It does.
So, all right.
Everything's very quiet.
Everything's very quiet, subdued, except for Modine. Modine's trying his best to get under people's skin.
Yeah.
I think people, right? You see it, though. People are like, shut up. Just shut the fuck up, right? Modine, he's a funny guy. So Jeremy, quickly though, you know, your thoughts, you know, like, do you think is it a good idea? Do you want to see the Kirk Cousins, Tannehill? And this is assuming Zach struggles, right? Would you like to see that? Do you think it can happen? Where do you stand on that whole thing?
I don't think we're looking or picking up the phone. I mean, if they called us and threw out a deal we couldn't refuse, I mean, then it's a deal we couldn't refuse. But I don't think we're shopping. I think that Zach, I mean, I don't know if people expected it to be, he's going to go from the worst quarterback we've ever seen for so long. My favorite, you know, my famous line. I don't think we ever really expected it to, or should have expected it to turn from that to he's a great quarterback or a really good quarterback. The last 2 games, he's, you know, the Kansas City game speaks for itself. And even the last week, I don't think was that bad. That we would even expect to see Trevor. We're not even going to see Trevor come in. Like, he's going to stay the number 2. Zach is playing. He's kind of in a crossroad right now. And I think that crossroad is Is he going to keep getting better? Because he definitely is better than the quarterback he was at the end of last season. So are we going to see him continue to get better? Or is he going to start struggling? Right now, I think the way it would start is if he's having a horrendous game where he has the yips, like a New England type of game, we could see Trevor Siemian come in for the rest of that game. I think that, and then Zach would start the next week. I don't think we're anywhere near Zach being completely pulled. I think you'd have to have 2 or 3 consecutive bad starts. But I think that every start that Zach is not horrible, that he's this new version of himself, which might not be perfect, but better completion rate, staying in the pocket, not running backwards, not making horrendous mistakes, I think just cements that he's going to be the starting quarterback the rest of the way.
Well, I'd love to be able to pull. I don't know if I'm a little nervous to do this. I want to pull up the all 22. I mean, because again, like when we talk about Zack Wilson playing well, we're talking about Zack Wilson playing well compared to Zack Wilson, right? So
yeah,
it's like there's clearly an uptick in what this guy brings. But man, oh man, guys, if you have the opportunity to watch the all 22, and there's lots of guys breaking it down, whether it's play like a Jet, or, obviously, Jet X and all those guys, like take a look at some of the stuff that's out there, like with what Zack Wilson is missing. And if the staff is looking at that, like if they're just like breaking down film with it and they look at each other and like Hackett and Clark and Saleh, they sit down and go, dude, how much longer can we fucking drag this sack of rocks through the mud? You know what I mean? Like if they have that conversation, like we have a team that is poised to compete at the highest level. That's the truth of it. Yes, we have our warts, but we are a well-built team stocked with talent all over the place. And it's like Zach just cannot squeeze the lemon. So far he can't do it. And I hope he continues to go out. We're all here rooting for him. But I don't know, man. It's like maybe, Jeremy, maybe they're sitting there looking and they go, enough is enough. Wait, you think they can do that? Or they're just so deep in the Zack Wilson commitment thing that there's just no chance?
Well, they haven't shown the ability to do that because we've seen it with other positions. We see it with other positions. Why do we always know when someone needs to get less reps and another guy needs to get more reps before they do?
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, we call it every time. And it's always them catching up on us saying finally. So if we're not completely as a fan base saying you have to take him out now, bring in Siemian, then you can guarantee they're not there.
That's a great point, actually. If the fans are split, then the coaching staff ain't nowhere near pulling them. That's a great fucking point, man. Knobcraft coming back on board with the Stream Beaners. Welcome back, Knobcraft. It's good to have you, and I appreciate the support. As you guys know, this is the first Thursday thick of it back on GreenBean Jetsfan. We are out of YouTube jail, so it's nice to be back over here. Knobcraft checking back in with a super chat. He says, this is exactly the kind of game the Jets inexplicably win convincingly, only to add to the confusion when they struggle with a bad team later. Now, as far as this week is concerned, I hope that's the case, right? I would love to just, we'll deal with whatever bullshit comes later. I want to win this game. I want to go into the bye so badly at 3-3, heading into the softer part of our schedule. Because then you can get rolling, right? Then you can do something as opposed to playing from a hole and trying to climb out of it. But he's right. Gunny, the idea that the Jets can compete with and or beat the good teams and then just is a team they're supposed to just steamroll and then we lose. We see it every year. We've seen it for decades. Year. You think that's what we'll see this time coming around? Or
what's going? In all actuality, now I kid you not, I was literally talking to my boy about this earlier. I was just like, man, I don't know if we're going to beat these guys. And then he's talking about why we shouldn't beat these guys. And then both of us are Jets fans. And we're like, I bet you we beat these guys. I bet you this week we're going to go ahead and do what we shouldn't do and beat these guys. And we're going to sit there and wonder like, oh my God, are we good? Are we not? It's going to make us question our sanity going into the bye week. And it's how we have to live our lives as Jets fans, right? Like, could you imagine we go in and we beat the Eagles and then we come back and lose to the Giants? Like, and to me, that I don't even know if it hurts more, right? I would rather lose to the Eagles than to lose to the Giants. If I'm being honest, if I would rather lose to the Eagles than to lose to the Giants, because there's levels to this thing, man. Like, if we beat the Eagles and lose to the Giants, you know what the Jets were? Oh, they were lucky, or the Eagles had a bad game, right? But if we make it competitive with the freaking Eagles and we beat the Giants, okay, the Jets are beating the teams they're supposed to beat. I would rather not take steps backwards, but I would love 3-3, man. I think the majority of us had us with Aaron Rodgers at 4-2 going into the bye. To be at 3-3 with freaking Zack Wilson at the helm, oh my God,
Yeah,
it would be glorious. But then my fear would then be, what are we going to do against the Giants after the bye? I kid you not. My mind would go there for the whole.
I know, it's so weird.
The whole 2 weeks.
It's so weird for us. Like the idea of beating the Eagles and the Giants. It's like almost like we have to lose. You know what I mean? Like we're so damaged. But it's a great point. Like, look, just like the streak with the Patriots, like you want it to end, right? You want the playoff streak to end. You want to beat the Patriots and end that friggin' streak. You want to beat we've never beaten the Eagles. So there's value to that too. But losing to the Giants is a whole different level of bullshit. Now, I've made my
100%.
decision, Jeremy. I'm going to show this. I want you guys, all right, everybody out there, okay? I want everybody to pay attention for a minute. We got to do this quick, okay? All right. Hold on. I'm going to try to get it right where I want it here. Let me see.
I'm terrified right now.
I'm scared too. I'm a little nervous. I'm like, what's coming?
It's all 22 though, so this isn't the stuff that they pay advertisers for. So theoretically, we're allowed to show this. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to show you guys the play. Now we're down. I forget what down this is, but we're down in the red zone. We're on the. It looks like we're on the 7-yard line. We have the opportunity to score a touchdown. Now, if we ended up getting a field goal, he bounces it off Garrett Wilson. But I want you guys to look at something, okay? I'm going to show this. Here we go, Jeremy. All right, I'm scared. Now, just so you guys know, this is the shit that guys like myself, like after the game, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever it comes out, this is what we're watching. I know. This is so... You can watch the game on TV and it's a whole, you see one thing, but this is what we're looking at. Now, I want you guys to watch. This is the play. Now, where's Conklin? All right, Conklin's on the left, right here. Left. And can you see my cursor? You can see it, right?
Yep, we'll see it.
Conklin's going in motion. Just keep an eye on Conklin. All right, he's set. Watch this.
Touchdown.
All right, now I want you guys to just see that. Does anyone have an issue with the Hackett side of this? Jeremy, are you seeing a problem with the aggressiveness of the play call?
No, that looks like a good play call to me.
Looks like it's pretty good, right? Now, how about you, Gunny? Are you concerned with the drawing up of the play?
The play. Listen, I was screaming at the television watching that game, talking about this is supposed to be the guy that drew up the best freaking red zone offenses with the Packers. Rodgers lied to us. This guy is terrible. And then I watched the All-22 and I was like, oh my God, Zack Wilson is terrible.
Now, I also want to point
wide
out,
open plays.
And this is not the only one.
No, there's multiple.
I want to point out there's something else key here. It's beautiful. I want you to see that the Broncos, they get a bad rap, Jeremy. That they're a bunch of this, they're not good at that. But they're really nice guys. Look over here. They've taken time in the middle of the play to love on each other.
That's like me going over to Gunny and saying, "Hey, did you try a slice of the square slice yet?" At L&B.
Yeah.
And just having a conversation.
Isn't this fun? So, but look at this too. I'm going to back it up real quick. The Garrett Wilson, so he hesitates. Now, Garrett Wilson's wide open, too. You can see that. Now, there's a mess in front of him, so you're a little bit more forgiving here. This is a different place. Let's see what happens here. So this is I think that's the
Allen Lazard one?
Now, this is, I think it's a handoff. All right, he gets 4 or 5. But so watch this. All right, so here's the other angle. Yeah, we're on the 7. So here's the other angle. I want you to see Garrett Wilson. I'm going to point this out. So watch this. Now, Zach's hesitation ruins even. So right there. If he hits
Right
Garrett
there.
Wilson right here, have some balls, kid. Now, he's not looking at him. Clearly, Alan Lazard is the read, right? So you get it. He's looking for Alan Lazard. And we talked about this. We were looking at this in the Beanbagger breakdown with Dom C on Wednesday nights that we do. Alan Lazard's the read. He's definitely covered, but Alan Lazard is 6'5", and the cornerback is 5'11". Just throw it high. If you're going to do it, have some balls and give your receiver the opportunity to compete for it, right? So there's that. You could do that, but turn your head. He's covered. So look, Garrett Wilson, if he throws the ball now, Garrett Wilson has the opportunity to catch it like right here.
Oh, yeah.
And cut up.
He's
right?
beaten. Yeah, he's beating the one guy. That's happening.
But there's a good chance. But Dom C pointed out what Zach's going to do, and this is rightfully so. He's going to read the safety. So he's going to know he's got 2 guys right here. So my read is covered. I have 2 guys right here. Depending on what the safety does, if he goes over here, Garrett Wilson's a touchdown. If he comes up for Garrett Wilson, he's a touchdown because he knows the route. Right now, while these 2 guys are deciding, hey, I'm going to make out with this fella right here. That's what I'm going to do. So they're doing that. You could say, well, we don't know if he's going to cut out or whatever. Zach Wilson knows where he's going to be.
He knows.
He's going to be right here, right? So Garrett Wilson's here. Conklin's here. Zach Wilson doesn't have the ball, so he could throw it to Lazard and give him a chance to beat a guy that he's got 6 inches on. He could throw it to Garrett Wilson right here and give his best offensive player a chance to win, or he can just throw it to Conklin, depending on what this guy does. So watch what the safety does, and watch when Zach decides to let it go.
Oh my God!
Now Garrett should have caught it, but then there's the other piece that we've heard it a million times. Zach Wilson doesn't have any touch. He zips it in. There's no reason to throw it that hard. He's fucking 8 feet from you. You know what I mean?
But we saw the Uzama touchdown. How much touch he does have touch. He just can't do it consistently. The Uzama touchdown that he had, it was a beautiful it's soft pillow throw, right? You had to put your hands out and caught it. He can do it. He just so inconsistent, man. It's frustrating.
And what's really frustrating is that we saw another play. I don't know if anybody ever found that play. Remember, GreenBean, the play where Garrett Wilson was wide open and he didn't throw it to Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he never gets it right.
Yeah. Now, real quick, Tony, I'll get right to you. Mike Saunders is defending Zach here. It sounds like he's like Conklin came open. No, the thing is, it doesn't matter coming open. You can read the defense. You see where the guys, how they're responding. You know where your guys are going to be. And so therefore, you know what's about to happen. It's why great quarterbacks, even good, competent quarterbacks, they throw it before the guy's open because holy shit, that guy bit. My guy's going to be open in a second. You let it rip. You let your guy run under it. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing, Mike. It's not, you don't wait to see what guys are. If you do that, you're always going to be behind, which is one of what Zach Wilson's. He's afraid to throw it until he's got confirmation that he's going to be open or it's panic. Now, he doesn't do it every time. He's been playing better, but this is a key example. And most of those red zone trips, there's at least one of these. So this is just the example I'm going to use. Now, Zach already made the decision to throw it here to Garrett Wilson. Again, late. But if you look right here, this is the handoff again. I'm sorry. But if you look at it, you can already see that Conklin's going to be open. And I'll show you exactly where.
The moment that safety steps forward.
That's right. The moment the safety takes a step forward or doesn't move, then you already know Conklin's going to be open because these guys are jumbled up over here. It's like you have to look. He already knows. Right there, he knows.
He's open. Yep.
He's going to, or just throw it to Garrett Wilson right there. He's wide open. Now, again, there's a mess in front of him, so it's not quite as clear, but he's got to be able to do that. Yeah, that's not an excuse. There's always going to be offensive linemen and defensive linemen in front of you. Always. So, again, that's where Conklin's open now. This is where he's open, Mike.
Yep.
Look at him. Holy cow. Look at this.
Oh, my God. Ugh.
All you had to do is throw it up to the middle of the end zone.
Literally.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to
He
see
could
it.
have
He should
under-
just
he-
know he's going to be there somewhere. The safety bit up. I'll just toss it in that direction where he's supposed to be.
Yeah. Nice high little pass that just stunts down.
Man.
Yeah. So anyway, it's frustrating. So that's where this talk comes from. Again, like I went into the all 22. I want you to know this. I went into the all 22 knowing that Zack Wilson left some stuff on the field. But I was like, I went in thinking, all right, well, let's see, he played a pretty damn good game. I can't wait to see, how well he played. And it was like, holy shit, like these just kept popping up. And it's like, wow, man. And, Dom said it best. He goes, look, it's disappointing to watch this because you learn that Zack is just Zack. Like Zack, he's been doing the same things for 3 years, even though he's better. And which gives you hope. Maybe, it doesn't, he's still 23 years old. He's still young, but for this, we're talking about this season. Like I don't really give a shit about 2026. You know what I mean? Right now, I want to know where we are right now, right? Because that's where we are. We're on week 6 of the NFL season. And can this guy get us there? Tony Alexio checking in. He says, hey, everybody. He didn't say that, but I added it for you, Tony. I knew that's what you wanted to say. Big mismatch, McGovern versus or against Jalen Carter. Switch Tippmann to center to stop a Carter massacre. I don't know. Jalen Carter is going to go against Tippmann and McGovern anyway, depending on where they bounce him around, depending on the defensive call. But I don't know. I got to tell you, McGovern with Tippmann and Lake, they've been playing better. I mean, their pockets have been pretty good. This new alignment, it sucks losing AVT, man. Let me tell you, because this group they had the potential to gel into something that we could be proud of. But the interior has been playing better. Now, this is going to be the best defensive line that we've played, at least since Dallas. But I don't know, McGovern. I don't know if I wouldn't want to see Tippmann playing center his first time, though, Tony, against Jalen Carter. That's not the guy you want to have your coming out party against. Let me tell you that.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure Jalen Carter is going to play. I mean,
not 100%. I think I'm counting on it, though, Jeremy. I hear you.
I think he will.
Yeah.
He's not going to be 100% bad ankle, but
that's cool. I'll take a 70%.
We have to assume
help us out.
We have to assume he's going to be 100%.
A little gimpy. So here you go, Tony. Now look, Basil Williams. I think this is a good idea. Why don't we just trade Cobby for Denzel Mims?
What are you doing, Basil? Basil, what are you doing? Why are you? You know how this man gets about Denzel Mims.
Yeah, I like it, Basil. Don't let Gunny get you down. Gunny's an asshole, man. You got the right ideas, Basil. Jason Edwards joining the Stream Beaters. Welcome back, Jason, and thank you for the support. Jason? We are happy to be home. As grateful and happy as we all were, of course, of being on Talking Jets. It's nice to have the channel back. I'll tell you that. But yeah, Jason Edwards, you're the man. And Jason Edwards, you're coming with us November 6th because Jason Edwards won the 2 tickets donated by the one and only Crossfire. So he won the 2 tickets and he won a free jersey the same damn night. So that was I have to think it's one of your luckiest nights of your entire life, Jason Edwards, unless you won the lottery or something. I don't know too many people. He's got like Lucky Leo luck, right? Lucky Leo was winning for like a month straight. But yeah, good for you, Jason. I can't wait to meet you, buddy. It's going to be amazing. I'm so happy you're coming with us to the November 6th Jet get together at MetLife with Ryan, Matt O'Leary, Jeremy's coming. Finnegan will be there. So many of the beanbaggers are coming. Now Jason Edwards will be there. It's going to be amazing. David D checking in. I'd believe that's so good. Glad you're out of YouTube jail. David D's referencing something that came out. What was that? Was that that was a Chiefs game when I was trying to type in like I believe in Zach or something, and it came out I below Benzad. And we just stuck with it. We just keep yelling it now. Everybody, I below Benzad. I believe in Zad. So yeah, it's a good one. That one, and it's funny because people are writing, you mean Zod like Superman? I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I guess
was about
so.
to say it sounds like a weird Al
Emperor
Yankovic
Zod.
parody. You know, I believe in Zod. You know, like doing
Yeah,
Harry.
right. That's great, man. Yeah, Fungus Among Us has a great point. He says, it's been 3 years. Does anyone think they would still have their job if they can perform the job? Imagine, Gunny, imagine you're at your job, right?
Mhm.
And you for 3 years and you've consistently failed time and time again. They brought you to big corporate meetings in front of everybody and you just look like shit. You look like a moron. You embarrass everybody. Would you still have your job, you think?
There's zero chance
Yeah.
that I
What
would
if,
still
all
have my
right,
job.
well, let me put it in perspective. What if they were paying you $10 million a year to do it?
Zero chance that I would still have my job.
Can you imagine?
Oh,
Can you
man.
imagine? It's a great point. The dude says Zach is so inconsistent, series to series, he can look like a world beater to a bum. He'll even on a play. It really is true.
He's
It's
right.
we never know. Like, look, when we take the field on Sunday, every single one of us, this is what we're going to be thinking. What version of this guy is
We're
showing
gonna
up?
get today.
We have no fucking idea.
It's
It's
not
the
even just that.
craziest thing, man.
It's like like drive to drive. I'm like, man, all right, last drive was okay. Maybe this drive he might figure it out, or he has a good drive, and you're like,
Right.
man, can he do it again? This drive, like, it's bad. Like, it's literally every time he throws the ball, I tense up. He completed it. Let's go. Like, I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old for this.
If he got rid of that brain freeze and could just, he knows that, like he knows that if the safety comes in, he's got to throw it
Yes,
up. It's not
he
like
does.
he doesn't know that.
He does.
It's not like he's never learned that. They say he's a smart bookworm. He knows that. It's a brain freeze thing. If he could ever just relax or somehow get that freaking wall that's stopping him, we could actually see what he can do. But you know what? He wouldn't be the first quarterback to fail because of this.
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
100%.
Yeah, no, it's
100%.
confidence. It's like he's out there, he's afraid. There's no question in my mind. That's what it is. He's afraid. Now, the other side to this, guys, and there's this, I've seen this discussed. I'm not the only one to think this. I'm watching the All 22 now. It's like it's on over here. I'm like, oh, that was a fucking good play. I want to see if there's something comes up that I want to show you guys. But I'm not the only one to say this, but could it be that it's the coaching staff's fear of his inconsistency that is adding to the lack of confidence? Like this idea of like, don't blow it. Like, so for example, when we're in the red zone, do you think it's possible that the coaching staff is drilling into his head, no matter what, if it's not there, don't force it because we don't want to lose the 3 points? Like, you think something like that could be going on where they're like, kind of freaking him out, like he wants to just be a gunslinger, but he's thinking like, don't make a mistake, don't blow the 3 points. Do you think that's going on, Jeremy?
I think that if I was coaching Zack Wilson, from what I've seen up to this point in his career, the last thing I would say to him when he was in the end zone is, don't force it and make a mistake. That's the last thing I would say to him. He's a guy that is going to be successful when he believes it. So I'm going to say to a guy, Zack Wilson, if I'm the coach, I'm going to say, be you, man. Just fling it. Be a cowboy. Get it
Trust
done.
what you see.
Just put it in the end zone. I'm not going to mention anything bad because that would be the worst coaching strategy in the world with a guy like him.
Yep.
Defensive coaches, man. Defensive coach. Now, Eddie, I appreciate you letting me know that. Your live isn't showing up. Had to search deep. Make sure your keywords are right. Well, here's the thing. The channel's dead. You know what I mean? Like, granted, my podcast stuff still does well on Mondays. But, like, the channel's been banned. It's like there's very much a disciplinary action taking place from YouTube to this channel. So I'm going to have to build up the algorithm's respect again. It's going to take some time, dude. Like, listen, every year, like when I take off for, 2 weeks, like during the off season, we'll take like 2 weeks, 3 weeks off. Just taking that 2 weeks off with no content. When I come back, it's the same thing. Like my streams get, 50 people. My videos are doing, 25% of what they use. It's like, it's really, it's a punitive system that we're living in many respects. It only respects and gives you the accolades if you hit, you're hitting key indicators. So, and it's funny, like you think, it's all the SEO thing is not quite what it used to be. It's always evolving. It's bullshit. But anyway, just keep searching. We're here on Thursdays, man. So, you can find it. Hopefully it'll start to represent itself again. Because you think I got, over 11,000 followers, you would think they would at least get to see that my video's up. But it doesn't do that.
The thing that, Eddie, if you haven't done it already, and everybody here listening, if you haven't done it already, that's what that little bell is for. So when you go on, there's a bell that you can hit. It's the notification bell. And what that'll do is when you open up your YouTube and you get your notifications, one of them will be GreenBean is live right now. So you have to hit that notification bell. Make life very easy for you.
See, now John says, listen to this, Eddie. But that's a great point. If you guys hit the bell, then this is going to be one of the channels that YouTube, lets you know about. If you don't hit the bell, it's just, it's a hit or miss. But John says it was on my home screen, GreenBean, because I like every vid, homie. Hit those milk thumbs, and he's got a point. That's what's up. YouTube remembers the videos that you're liking. So if you haven't hit the milk thumbs button yet, go ahead and do that now. If you're one of the folks who hasn't subscribed to the channel yet, hey, what better time than now? A celebratory subscribe. Congratulate us for getting out of YouTube jail. We're going to be in YouTube's good graces by showing all 22 every show. That's what we're going to do. Maybe that's what they want.
As long as there's no sound.
Look at
Is
Zach.
this real right now? Are the Chiefs struggling against the Denver Broncos right now?
No.
Is this real life?
The Chiefs aren't the Chiefs anymore.
Maybe we shouldn't feel as bad about last week.
This looks bad.
The thing that people forget too is that yes, the Denver Broncos have their defense is struggling. Gunny said it before. Historically bad. They were missing 3 defensive starters that they got back, all 3 against the Jets.
No.
So, and they won the week before. So they were kind of climbing out of this a little bit. The 70 banger definitely skews things. This
is true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're the first team since 1966 to allow 70 points. So, and once that friggin' dam breaks, it's not like it's indicative. It's just they're done. They want to go home. They're looking at the clock. They're like, there's still 6 minutes left. 58 nothing, man. They want to go home. That's so yeah. So it's again, I'm not trying to make excuses. We beat them, and the truth is that if Zach was a little bit better of a quarterback, we would have blown them out. We blew them out. We were in the red zone. We had 5 field goals?
5.
And we were in the red zone, Gunny, when we missed the damn bad clock management, which was also Zach, by the way. I'm going to point that out.
Casually walking up to the line of scrimmage like he had all fucking day.
Like he had another 22 seconds.
God.
Right. Casual. Now, let me say this, too. The biggest thing about that one, which was embarrassing. I know every Jets fan in here, every Jets fan in the world, we were watching that. That's embarrassing. You have to get those 3 points. You can't do all that and then blow it that way. Everybody's laughing at us. And it sucks to be the butt of yet another joke. But here's where the problem came. We had 9 seconds, and Zach decides to throw it. They're going to leave the guys. If there are guys in the middle of the field, they're going to leave it open every time. Why? Because they want you to throw that. They're baiting you to throw it. You have to know I cannot throw it to that guy. You take a shot in the end zone. If it's not there in 2 seconds, you zip it away so the clock stops. You got to know that as the quarterback, the field general. So not only did he throw it to the guy in the middle of the field, decent gain, it doesn't matter. Then after that, like Gunny just said, he kind of casually, it's like he thought he had 5 or 6 more seconds. And you got to know that. So that whole series, that whole chunk of time was severely mismanaged by Zack Wilson. Now, I do have some shots to throw towards Salah. I thought that he missed an opportunity for the timeout. It wasn't terrible, but it was there. You know what I mean? He could have managed that better, and maybe we would have had 3-4 more seconds during that scenario. But again, the situation was what it was, and Zack Wilson threw it to, I think it was Conklin, maybe Uzama, somebody.
I think it was Uzama.
Yeah, so he threw it to the guy that the Denver's like, oh my God, he threw it. It's like, remember last year against the Bills when they were trying to draw us off sides, and then CJ Mosley freaked out and dove over the
and dove over. Yep.
Now, the good news is he completely decimated Dawson Knox, which is good, right? So he just, and he just killed him. But they laughed. They were like, yeah, I can't believe he bit. Because there was no way. There was no way he was snapping. So it's one of those things. And it just sucks that the Jets continually find a way to bite on those types of things. Like, we got to get smarter. And I mean, CJ Mosley, you can give the pass to because he does so many intelligent plays. He's a super cerebral player. Zach, on the other hand, we see so many boneheaded, like, brain farts, for lack of a better term, that when it happens, it's just like this guy. It's just, again, there's another one. And it's a shame. So let's look at this poll, everybody. See what everybody thinks. We have a poll up there to see what we think. Is Zach going to cringe or rise against the Eagles? Let's see what we got. Right. So, all right. 72% of you believe Zack Wilson is going to rise to the occasion against the 5-0 Philadelphia Eagles. 27% are expecting Zach to cringe and cry. Jeremy, what do you think? You think Zach's going to rise to the occasion, or is he going to cringe and cry? What do you got?
Maybe somewhere in the middle. I think it might be similar. I fear that it might be similar to like the Dallas game, right? Where that's my fear. That's my fear. Like, I think that there's that other scenario where he might be okay, but they just outplay us because they're a better team. I mean, let's face it, he wouldn't be the first. But if it has to go one way or the other, I actually think that he's going to be okay. Because I think that like people were pointing out, other teams have done well passing-wise against the Eagles. Zach seems to be, for him, in his career, on his uptick. So I'm gonna think positively and I think that it'll sway towards he's going to have an okay game.
All right. Well, that's called non-committal, Gunny. That's what he's taking the lawyer.
That's
approach.
The politically correct answer right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Gunny, what do you think? If you had to put $1,000 on one or the other, Zach's going to rise to the occasion, not necessarily win, but he's going to rise to the occasion and play very, very well, or he's going to cringe and collapse like he did in the Jaguars game. If you had to put $1,000 on it, which way you going?
I'm putting the grand on him having a better game. He rises to the occasion. I'm not saying it's going to be enough for us to win the game, but I think it's going to be competitive, and it's going to be based off him throwing the ball. I'll say this: like, yes, granted, a lot of the stuff that he's missing, it's almost as if he's going to read one or read two, right? And I'm starting to feel as if, like, Hackett is noticing this, and he's trying to make sure the best options are available for him, read one to read two. And I think because of that, and of course the Eagles secondary being kind of decimated right now, we're going to see him have a good game. Hopefully it's enough for us to get the W. But yeah, if I had to bet money today, based off of what we've seen over the last couple of weeks and what we've seen the Eagles allowing, since the season started, I think Zach he rises to the occasion, has a pretty good game.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you where I am. I like that. We got positive Gunny, middle of the road Jeremy. I'd like to see what Finnegan thinks too. Finnegan, let me know what you think. You think Zach's going to rise to the occasion or cringe and cry? If I had to put $1,000 down, I don't know. I'd probably lean towards having a bad game, right? That's the smart money. But if I don't put $1,000 down, I'm just talking from my heart. I think Zach is going to play well this week. Now, by Zack Wilson standards, again, I think we're going to continue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we're going to continue to see that missed opportunity stuff, man. It's been the mark of his career. Joe Campione says, and what's up, Joe? Good to see you, buddy. He says, in 27 games, Zach has one schemed touchdown over 12 air yards from scrimmage. He will never get it. I don't know if that's accurate. Is that the one that was against the Cowboys, the Garrett Wilson touch? Because that was definitely one of those.
Well, and he's saying in 27 games, in his first NFL game ever in the second half, he had that nice touchdown.
But that's not a scheme touchdown. That's Zach running out of the pocket.
That was out of the pocket.
I
Yeah.
see.
And so there's definitely a difference, right?
Yeah.
Once it all breaks down, and look, that's a positive,
It is a positive.
that he can do that. But I get the point. It's like, the offensive coordinator is scheming everybody open. If you just stay there in your pocket, trust the offensive line and get it to where the receiver is going to be, that's definitely preferred. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Than having to watch Fran Tarkenton run all over the friggin' place and just go woo and hopefully your guy comes down with it. Because Zach has given us some exciting plays in that respect. But the truth is, Zach has a grand total of like 20 touchdowns. I mean, Finnegan maybe can tell me that. Finnegan, how many touchdowns does Zach have over his entire career? All right. So Finnegan says 245 yards. All right. This is Finnegan's prediction for this week. Fucking Finnegan, man. He says 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, 82% completion percentage, and a W. 82% completion.
Hey, look, I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah, don't get us wrong, man. I'm totally down for that kind of a Sunday, but I don't know, Finnegan. That's going to be a toughie, buddy. That's going to be a toughie. So, all right. Zach's grand total. So Zach does not even in 2.5 years of starting. Now he's had injuries and benchings, but 2.5 years he's been the starter of this team. He has 19 touchdowns and 23 interceptions. Jeez. So we're not talking about half a season data collection here. You know what I mean? We got 2 offensive coordinators. We have all sorts of different wide receivers and different running backs. We all kinds of characters surround him. He's got 19 touchdowns total. And he could have had 3 more last week. And he didn't. And that's on him. That are on him.
Easy ones drawn up for him last week that he just didn't see.
He just can't do it.
How many of those picks came against New England?
Probably
at least 7.
I'm gonna go with half game.
Yeah, so he didn't. I think he has 7 interceptions against New England.
Yeah, at least he had 3 or 4 that first game.
Well, he had 4 the game that I sat with O'Leary. That was a good. Me and O'Leary, we get to hang out for the first time at a Jets game. We watched a 4 interception performance from fucking jerk off Wilson. But then the last year when we totally should have beat them, Zach just degraded and before our eyes, and Saleh wouldn't pull him. He threw 3 interceptions in. So I think he didn't throw any this year, which is, I guess, positive. He couldn't get more than 10 points.
Right. But the second game that he played them his first year, he got hurt, so he didn't throw any. So 7.
Oh, that was when they should have thrown those damn flags. They let New England dive at his knees on the sideline, and we still didn't get a flag. It's crazy, man. Like last week, there was quite literally a face mask on Zack Wilson that did not.
Oh my God!
Crazy.
My man dove at his head, literally by his head, the whole helmet, hands covered the helmet, brought him down to the ground.
Did you see
flag?
Did you see the clips at the end of the Vikings Kansas City Chiefs game? They did the same thing for Mahomes. They helped them the way they helped them against us.
Yeah.
Same thing. Oh, yeah. They did the same thing to the Vikings.
Yeah. They want Taylor Swift to have a good time. It's just that simple. Yep. So Finnegan's got more for us. All right, here's Zack Wilson's New England breakdown, everybody. Zack Wilson has played the New England Patriots 5 times. He has 850 total yards. So what's 850 divided by 5? Jeremy, you're a math professor.
500, 350 by 5.
850 divided by 5.
170 per game.
All right, so he's averaging 170 yards a game against New England. He has 2 touchdowns and 7 interceptions against
Jesus.
And we've been the better team for at least 2 years. I would 100%. Argue 3.
100% is probably like 52%, I bet.
What's his completion percentage, Finnegan?
Probably really low.
Finnegan getting us all the goodies.
Yeah.
So again, and we're not trying to bash Zach, all right? Like again, I've acknowledged 10 times during this stream, as has Gunny and Jeremy. He's playing better, right? And he gives us some hope. It's undeniable. Zach's playing better. We haven't seen the running backwards. We saw it once this year. Okay. So it's still in there, but he's stopping himself. So that's good. He also has just completely removed, for the most part, that just incredibly aggravating inability to hit screens and dump offs and things. Like he's hitting those. So vast improvement there. He's running forward if he gets the opportunity. Another improvement, right? He's getting first downs or 9 yards. So again, positives. And he's looking better. He's mitigating the interceptions. Obviously, he had one last week. It's not 100% on him. Zach, Garrett Wilson had an opportunity for the ball. Look, you want to get your best wide receiver in those positions often. More times than not, he's going to come away with it, but you can't remove Surtain's another stud. So it's just one of those things, it was a little battle for the ball, and maybe he could have back shouldered it a little bit. But again, not entirely on Zach, that one. But, so he's improving, but we're just being real. It's like, when Jets fans, I'm getting a lot of I make funny memes and shit on Instagram. And sometimes I'll make fun of Zach, right? So I'll go watching Zack Wilson. And then I invariably get these you don't know, you're not a real fan. You don't blah, 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 blah. I get all this stuff. And it is what it is. But to keep things objective, it's yes, I'm happy that he's got 2 consecutive 70% completion games. First of his career. I'm happy about that. Yes, I'm happy he's getting first downs and keeping the defense off the field. Absolutely. Gives us a chance to win the game. And we saw it. The defense scored 9 points last week. A lot of that has to do with the fact that they're not on the field the whole damn day. So look, we talked about that all throughout the offseason. When teams are talking about, whenever the defense struggles, what we see in the chat during the game streams is 85 Bears. That's what we see all the time now. But the truth is, this team was built specifically with the design that the offense would, number one, have drives to keep them off the field so they would be rested more than they're used to. But in addition to that, it's built to play with a lead, right? Our speed rushers can unleash the heat. And we haven't been able to do that. We haven't had many leads. That's because Aaron Rodgers was replaced
from Patrick Mahomes.
What's that? What happened?
Another interception from Patrick Mahomes. What in the world is going on?
He's jealous of Kelsey.
You don't like this Taylor Swift thing. He wants her to go home. His wife's been hanging out with Taylor Swift, and he don't like it. That's what it is.
Oh, my God.
That's my deduction. That's what I'm saying. Mid-flare.
By the flag.
Mid-flare, thank you, buddy, says, give me an over-under on Zack Wilson this week, fellas. 183 passing yards, 1.5 touchdowns, 1.5 turnovers, and 18 rushing yards. That's a good over-under? I think he's going to throw more than 183 pass. I think we have to. I think, again, looking at the obvious game plan, you have to challenge their passing defense. You have to. That's the weakness of their defense. You have to put some faith in Zach. All right, kid, you warmed up for 2 games here. You played well. Now we're going to lean on you. So I would say 200 is a more appropriate over-under. 1.5 passing touchdowns.
I think this is good. Mid-flare might want to go for a job in Vegas because these are good. These are good lines.
Yeah, it really is, though. It's really making you think. I'm like, damn. I'm gonna go. Okay, so I'm gonna go over on the pass yards.
Oh man,
I'm gonna go under on the pass TDs. I'm gonna go under on the pass TDs. I'm gonna go over. Wait, turnover. So that means you could also fumble it. I see what you did there. It's not just interceptions. Yeah, I'm gonna go over on the turnovers. I think he gets 2. I'm gonna go over on rush yards too. I think he escapes the pocket a couple of times, gets into that mid-20s.
I agree because he can get 10 to 15 yards in one play, and then he'll
In
get
one run. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's had plenty of runs that are 15 to 20 yards.
100%. So I'm going to go over, under, over.
I'm going to be optimistic about the turnovers and say under. I say he only turns it over once.
Okay.
So you taking the under?
I'm taking the under on the turnovers.
You got to take the whole line, though.
Oh, you have to pick one or the other for the whole
You don't have
line.
to. I'm just saying that now.
Oh, okay. Well, if I had to do that, I'd say over. If I had to do for the whole line. Well, maybe
I'm
not.
going to copy and paste this. Hold on. I'm going to put this in the poll. Can I copy and paste it? I got to do it on YouTube. Hold on.
If I had to do it, as one line, I would go with the over then.
I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to do this one. Over, under. All right. We'll do this. Here we go.
I don't like that. I don't like a bet where I get to root for him to do well, but I have to root for him to turn the ball over a lot.
Yeah, at the same time. That makes me uneasy. I am not a fan.
Why isn't it doing it? My question is too long. Get out of here. Too long. Get out of here. All right, the poll's up. Let us know if you think it over under. I know you're gonna have people gonna say, I don't like this. I don't. Just the whole line. If you had to pick one. So Finnegan checks in and he says that Zack Wilson's career completion percentage against the Patriots is 50.7. Good stuff.
God, 50.7. Jesus.
That's like
that's more than 50. It's more than half.
That's like 1960s quarterback numbers.
Right. I mean, what do we do?
When Modine was a college student, numbers.
Oh, that's ugly. That's just ugly. 50.7%.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly.
I kind of feel like you could get higher than that just by saying, fuck it, he's open over there somewhere and throwing it to Garrett Wilson. You know what I'm saying? All day during the game. Like, he's over there somewhere and just tossing it in the direction where Garrett Wilson should be. I feel like you'd get a higher completion percentage than 50.7%.
Well, I was almost like, I think we've said that. Like, they should just, every play, he should look at Garrett Wilson for as long as he can.
Throw it. Yep. Mm-hmm. He's going to get open. He's open. Just toss it.
He'd probably be a better team that way. He could just do it all game long. Just like look 100%. For Garrett, and if there's an opportunity, if it's anything better than a 50-50, toss it.
So I got a question for y'all, because this was the discussion at my office the other day. So let's say they bench Zack Wilson for whatever reason, any game this season. Trevor Siemian comes out and he runs, where he gives us a Gardner Minshew like freaking performance in this offense with these weapons. Do y'all want to see Zack Wilson come out at all as we make a run to the playoffs? Because I have this feeling that it would bench Zack Wilson for a game and bring him back the next week, even if Trevor Siemian lit it up.
I don't know. I think, I mean,
it's a concern.
I mean, I don't know. I think if Siemian comes in and looks good, you're gonna see Siemian time shirts.
Oh, I know what we're gonna do. I know what we're gonna do. Yeah. I'm more concerned on what the organization is gonna do.
Yeah, I'm talking about the players though. Dude, all the players want is average quarterback play. They want when they're running wide open in the end zone, they just want somebody that's going to throw them the ball. They don't give a shit what your name is, Bob, Mary, Jane. They don't care. They just want a guy like, dude, I'm wide open. Please.
I guarantee you, every one of those guys, their whole life to get where they are, when they were alone in the end zone, they had a quarterback who threw them the freaking ball
at every level.
At every level,
high school.
That's a good point. Yeah. And then they became Jets.
I'll tell you, it is frustrating. Now, look, and again, I'll remind us, there's reason for hope. You know, the fact that Zach is improving. Again, he's He's not running backwards. He's hitting the short stuff. He's running forward, and he is connecting on some nice deeper balls. The Chiefs game was borderline brilliant on his part. So we know it's in there. But it's like, again, just being objective and real. We're just looking at both sides of this one tonight. But I think ultimately, I feel like Zach is he's never going to be the guy. That's what I think. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, man. It's just, again, this is looked at as one of his better games. And when you watch the All-22, it's aggravating to watch.
Yep.
It's incredibly. It's just like last year, man. Like, there were so many plays that we would just watch and go, Jesus, man, come on. How did he not see that guy? How does he not see? Some plays, there's two options wide open, and he runs backwards and a clean pocket. And it's he just decides to run. It's like, I don't know, because he's scared. And it's tough to watch. That all said, all right, we're gonna wrap this one up early tonight. But I want to get some predictions. We're gonna look at this real quick, this poll. Hold on. I'm going to end the poll and see. Most people, look at this. Most people, 62% are taking the over. So more than 183 passing yards, more than 1.5 touchdowns, passing touchdowns. He'll have some turnovers, but he'll also have more than 18 rushing yards. That would be a good game. I mean, if he gets 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, wins, I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
just win, baby. Just win.
Yeah, Joe says if the Jets switch Zach with Hurts, we win by 30. Yeah, I mean, no doubt.
100%.
And if because here's the thing, you can see the difference in our defense when the offense is playing. You can see it.
Yes.
Like, we put a lot. It's just it blows my mind every week, like how hard we are on the defense when they're literally the unit keeping us in the game. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Even this week we gave up, we gave up our first touchdown in the second half. I mean, but all year, but that in and of itself, that was the only drive of any consequence in the entire second half and
it was a gift from the refs. It was a gift.
And it was a gift, right? There's always something. So it's like, I mean, but again, every defense gives up a drive, it's like, okay, but it's like, if they're not flawless, we're brutal to the defense, but then we just kind of give Zach this pass. It's weird to me. It's weird.
Somebody did say, how come I saw it in the chat. Like, he was just like, how come we give Zach a pass from not doing what basic quarterbacks do? And I guess to answer it is because he's all we've got, bro. Like, that's why. Right. He's all we got. Like, I think the majority of Jets fans would like to have a consistent starting caliber quarterback back there, but we don't have that. We have Zach, and so we could just sit here and be miserable for the entire season, just being depressed, or we can hold on to hope that maybe at any given game he's going to go ahead and give us something. But you're right. We do set the standard for Zach pretty low, but the fact is he was buried underneath the basement as a quarterback. Now he's in the building. He's in the basement, right? Like, he's actually in the basement. He might start walking up the stairs to get to the first floor. I mean, I think he's like the 29th or 28th ranked quarterback right now. After the last 2 weeks, he was 34, literally 2 spots outside of starting quarterbacks in the league. So it's pathetic, I guess you can say, but he's what we got right now. So
it's like when Salah was saying Zach gives us the best chance to win. Everybody took that as Salah's a Zach lover. No, what he's really saying is, guys, I don't have anybody else.
This is it.
This is the guy. Why don't you bench him for fucking Tim Boyle? Is that really what you're saying?
You really want to see that? You want to see that?
It cracked me up whenever I see someone say Boyle, 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 and I'm like, are they looking at this guy's stats? Do they
Listen?
Yeah,
I don't even know what Boyle's doing in the NFL after seeing his college stats.
So bad.
I'm like, how it?
Yeah.
What?
And it's just, you got to remember, like, the plan was Aaron Rodgers backed up by Zack Wilson. And then who the hell could have predicted 4 plays into the season, right?
Nobody.
So Jet Up Buttercup says, well, if you go watch all the teams, which would, look, we're not going to do that, Jet Up Buttercup, right? I don't want to have to look at every all 22 to find comparisons for Zack Wilson. The truth is that if you do, you can just watch the games and see. You can see it. Of course, every quarterback misses opportunities. That's not what we're
100%.
saying. But very rarely do they miss the way that Zack Wilson. They're scoring touchdowns. We're among the lowest in getting in the end zone. I mean, Zack Wilson has what? How many touchdowns does he have this year? Finnegan, do you know? 4?
Yes,
He's got
4.
4 touchdowns in 5 games, bro. I mean, we can dig. I mean, you see it, Jet Up Buttercup. It's like, look at how much work we have to do to justify that Zack Wilson's somewhat competent. It's like, I'm not going to go watch 32 teams, all 22, to try to make sense of. No, I look at Zack Wilson. He's on the 7-yard line. There are 2 open receivers in front of him, and he can't do it. Like, that's all I need to see. Like, every quarterback hits that. And if they don't, they're not starting for 3 years. Like, that's the other thing. They're gone. If they can't do it, they're gone. And it sucks that we're in a position where I cannot believe we're still watching him.
The offensive line has been reasonable for the most part. And he has Garrett Wilson. He has a true number 1 receiver, an animal. He has good tight ends. He has good running backs. It's impossible to make the excuse. Why does he have so few touchdowns in 5 games? There's no justification of it. There's no excuse. It just isn't.
Yeah. Benny wants to know if Tim Boyle could have been worse than Zack. Yeah, I mean, Zack didn't throw any picks, so it could definitely be worse.
Tim would have thrown a couple.
You could be much worse.
You could be, believe it or not, Benny. I know. I get your point, because it was abysmal, and we didn't do anything in that game. 10 points. And how did we get the touchdown that game? Wasn't that defense?
That was
I don't even
defense.
know.
Wait, was it defense? It was a pick. Was it a pick 6?
Stripped. We stripped the ball.
Stripped. Yeah.
Bryce brought it back.
Yep. No. This is the Patriots game we're talking about, right?
No, the Patriots game I'm talking about.
We scored it.
We scored that touchdown.
I know it wasn't offensive. I know that's a fact. How did we score that touchdown?
Hold on.
I just automatically it had to be defensively because I don't think I saw.
Let me see here. I'm going to see something.
Did we get that touchdown, Finnegan?
Nick Bawden.
Nick Bawden. Yeah, fullback.
He popped it in.
So Zack had a drive. He had a drive. Got to give it to him. All right. So it was the offense. Sam Aiken, please draft another quarterback. Spend time to find one. I don't know, man. We have a 1st and a 3rd this year, and Aaron Rodgers is likely coming back. I say it's a tackle.
I think it's a tackle as well.
And Dom C is raving about this year's offensive line class, everybody.
Yep.
So maybe we got a good year to do it.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see a tackle in the 1st round and the best interior player in the 3rd, whether it's a center or a guard. Because we have that flexibility with Joe Tippmann. So we'll just take the best guy that's there in the 3rd round.
What if we trade the 1st round pick to acquire a couple more picks?
It's not a bad idea. Works.
What if we what? Say that again.
Trade the 1st round pick, right? Let's say we got a top 15 pick. We trade that, fall back into the first round, and of course pick up a 2nd and maybe another 4th or something like that. Whatever that value looks like. But I could see that being a thing too, because I really believe they're going to try to go ahead and add as much as they can through this draft. Because I was looking at the free agents. I don't really see a lot of like offensive line free agents coming out next year that we're going to be like, ooh, we got to go ahead and jump on. Not to mention the money situation, cap thing. I'm seeing reports left and right that we might not be as high as we think we're going to be. Like, you don't know until you know what the actual cap number is going to be. But I'm starting to feel like we're going to be freaking a little strapped for cash next year, especially when freaking they're trying to get, season ticket holders to go ahead and pay up this year for next year's freaking tickets. Starting to worry a little bit about
that. What are the Jets doing, dude?
I don't know, man. I saw that and I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me.
It's like they're pushing us to see just how stupid we are. Like, watch, these guys are morons. Like, amidst losing, they're like, you know what? We're going to charge you for next year now. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, what is
that? Pay up front. I have no
I don't
idea.
understand it. I don't like it. I think it's bullshit, man.
No, I hate it. It's beyond bullshit. I'm not a season ticket holder, but I'd be furious if I was a season ticket holder. Right? Have you seen the product you're putting out there, and you're trying to charge me for next year now?
I know. It's crazy. I hope everybody just says no. Nope.
Oh yeah,
we're not doing it.
Nah, I'll wait. I'm good.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, all right, guys, what do you guys think is going to happen in the game? Jeremy, you go first, and I want to see what Gunny thinks. Give me a final score, unless you're freaked out against jinxing predictions and all that jazz.
What?
No, I mean, I'm gonna from now on, I'm gonna do predictions as if the Jets won. What happened and what score they won by? Because I can't predict for my team to lose. I just can't. So I'm gonna say that. The Jets win of 16-10. And that's how we win. Our defense doesn't give up any points in the second half. And we managed to scrounge a touchdown and a few field goals and get an ugly win.
All right, I like it. I'm all about ugly wins. Gunny, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 21-17 win. I think it's a 21-17 win. Jets put up 3 touchdowns, and we're able to go ahead and contain the tush push and keep the Philadelphia Eagles at bay, especially like Jet Chaos was saying was in the second half. And the Jets get a win. They still won at home, right? They shocked the world. People start talking about, oh my God, are they for real? And then we'll hold our breath when we play the Giants. That's why I think it's gonna happen.
I like it. I'm going with 21-17 as well, maybe 24-17. I think the Jets are going to pull it out. That's literally what I think. I'll tell you, too, there's a funny comment here. Somebody, well, not funny, but it's funny also. He says, Kuntz will be back next year, so that's good. But I actually interviewed, we'll end the show on this. I interviewed a young girl for a counselor today. And on her resume, it said she got her education at Old Dominion because I'm in Virginia. So I get her down. One of the things I like to do in interviews, I like to kind of start with something abstract and weird. And so I do this and I sit down, I go, oh, so it says on your resume that you went to Old Dominion. And she goes, yeah, I did. And blah, blah, blah. I said, how'd you like it? She said it was good. And I said, well, the New York Jets drafted, but one of your star players this year, who was it? I said, can you tell me his name? And she goes, and I said, you can't do it? And she goes, I said, did you even go to Old Dominion? Are you lying? Are you opening up this interview with a falsehood, little miss?
She's freaking out, starts sweating.
Yeah.
No, I really did.
Yeah. I said, his name is Kuntz. And she goes, you know what? She goes, I know I already blew it, but she said, that does actually ring a bell. She goes, I went to games because it's fun, college. Right. They all go, they go to the game, but she's like, I just don't really care about football. But anyway, I did that to a poor girl today. A great interview. I'm going to hire her, I think, actually. Yeah, that's how I started. Did you even go? Are you lying to us? She was freaking out.
She's freaking out.
Finnegan saying a 23-13 Jets win. I love it. I think that's the way to go. Guys, we're going to wrap the show. I want to thank you all for coming to hang out with us over here on GreenBean Jetsfan, the inaugural return episode, let's call it, of the Thursday Thick of It right here. And it's home base. We are back. Thanks to everybody. Thanks for your support. Thanks for hopping over to Talking Jets with us on Thursdays and for the game streams. The game stream will be back over here as well on Sunday for the Jets-Eagles game. So don't forget to hang out with us. We have an absolute blast, man. Like I say every week, no matter what the Jets do, it's better to be together. It sucks to watch this team by yourself, man. So come hang with us. We'd love to have you. It's a good time. With that all said, for Jeremy, Gunny, and Finnegan, I hope you have a great rest of the night. Enjoy the weekend. We will see you Sunday, everybody.
Here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over and get onto the bench and stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets, Jets.